Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
To her credit, she's turned it on. And my expectation was for her to play all season the way she's playing right now. Early in the year, we weren't quite doing that, some individuals, but as a group overall. And right now we're playing.
Probably boosting my confidence the most. I mean, as I was a freshman starting varsity, didn't really have a whole lot of varsity experience. I'm undersized and just not really knowing how to play the game or get my team into the offenses. So he's really boosted my confidence.
I don't think there's a more impactful player in the league for their program. You don't need my quotes. All you need to do is watch the game, right? Go rewatch it.
The way college football works, scarcity is the backbone of the sport. Perfection is the backbone of the sport. There are not 12 teams that can conceivably win the championship in a given year. They're probably not 8, but are there 5 in most years?
The fact that Notre Dame could be the number 1 team in the country and be seeded 5th, that's a problem. But for the most part, 7 at-larges is a very good day. Criticism? Yes. Celebration? Yes. Good day for college football.
They're exciting because they're really good players, but they're also really good people with a lot of experience. We went with a very, very young team last year, so to put some veterans that have been there and done that, Will Smith, everybody knows his track record.
Now on, as long as I'm here, the Patrick Mahomes rules. Remember when Jordan was going through it with the Pistons? Anytime he came to the home, elbows, feeling them, love taps. We touched them. We're in the head, mentally, physically.
You try to figure out, how can I eliminate him? You're not going to be able to eliminate everything, but if you can consistently hit him, we've seen that with Tom Brady. What did Tom Brady hate? Pressure up the middle.
Happy birthday, dear Webby. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Milking it for everything you can, aren't you?
Listen, man, I don't got that many left. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. The Sports Day Show, Steve Webster with you, along with Mike Corson, Aaron Clark, and Mike Hesher. Hey, on the show today, usually it's Great Bend Panther basketball, but stinking education getting in the way of our program today. They've got parent-teacher conferences today down at Great Bend High School, so that wipes out our chat today with head coach Kyle Cree.
We hear all the time about student-athletes. You forget that it's teacher-coaches. They got some school responsibilities, too.
No, but it's sports day. But that's okay. That's all right. We'll get plenty of Hayes High, Great Bend tomorrow. So
don't we have a conference room?
We could have just had Coach Cree do some conferences here while he pops in. We could have entertained.
Well, I know, but I have to send a list up to the girls up front to let them know who's going to be here. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Ron Johnson will be in to see Kyle Cree. No, it's probably, but we'll catch up with that tomorrow with Connor Nickel. Barton women's coach Alan Clark, he will be in. Cougars at home Saturday against Garden City. We're going to talk Barton wrestling with Coach Nathan Brockelman. Also, C.J. Newman will be in with Nathan today to talk about the upcoming trip to the NJCAA National Tournament. And also, back on the program, he got bumped yesterday, but Gurr Wellbrock is going to be on the show. Tigers, the 2-game homestand this weekend. It wraps up their regular season at home. We'll talk about the matchup. They've got the Gorillas in tonight. Mike Hesher, I think, is going to be there. So look for Mike Hesher. He'll come.
I'll be hiding at the top of the Gross Coliseum.
Can you get up that high?
Oh, no problem.
He'll be up where his jersey for being the best manager Fort Hays has ever seen. He'll be up there with the rafters.
All right.
I got 2 titles. Nobody else does.
That's more. I was going to say that's 2 titles more than the other 3 people sitting here.
I got 1.
Oh, 1 more. Sorry.
I was talking manager specifically.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's a fair assessment of that. Okay, so that's who's on the show today. Let's get to our sounds the past 24 hours or so. What a delightful time we had in the studios yesterday talking Larned girls basketball. Sometimes you worry about bringing a crowded studio in. It was pretty good. Head coach Jared Smith talking about the play of Akila Collins and the rest of the Larned team this season and how they have progressed. Larned, they will be in the 3A sub-state coming up on Tuesday, and they will host Russell. Now, Larned is 8-12 this season, but we've seen marked improvement. Heck, they got beat by Pratt by 13 in the first game of the year. Then they won by 21 in the finale against Pratt in the regular season. So some good improvement. Senior guard Jaden Pinkston on how Smith has helped her game over the last 3 years, talking about giving her some more confidence. Larned hosting again Russell on Tuesday night. Okay, high school basketball tonight. Panthers do not play. They play tomorrow night. There will be action in the WAC tonight as the regular season comes to an end, as Liberal will be in Dodge City. No impact on the standings. I guess if you want to say that Liberal could win and catch Great Bend tied for second in the WAC, I don't know if that means a lot at this point of the season.
The WAC crown has always been the main thing. No one cares about who gets second through fifth.
No, they do not. Okay, Substate begins tonight for Class 1A schools. 1A boys Division 1. St. John Substates. La Crosse is the number 1 seed. The Leopards will take the night off. They have a first-round bye. Hodgman County will host Spearville tonight. 2 teams who are 12-8. Kinsley boys at Central Plains tonight. The Oilers 14-4, Kinsley 1-19, and then St. John at Maxville tonight. St. John boys 10-10, Mustangs 14-6. Also, the Stafford Division II substate starts tonight on the boys' side. St. John Beloit 12-7. They got a first-round bye. Otis Bison 5-15 plays at 8-11 Stafford tonight. Chase 0-20 at Victoria 10-10. And Pawnee Heights 3-17 at Tescott, who will come into that game this evening, playing on their home court with a record of 8-8. So sub-state play getting underway tonight. Jeff Mitty, can't you see it she's pretty good. You don't need to ask me about it. Well, yeah, I do, because why are you here if it's a press conference and I can't ask you about what you think about Ioka Lee, who scored 34 points last night, 10th-ranked Lady Cats. Rallied to beat number 22 West Virginia 73-64.
Believe that was Aoka Lee's first game back from another injury. She's missed a pretty decent amount of time this year, but when she's on the court, man, 34 points speaks for itself.
They got to number 2, and then she got hurt, but they've hung around top 10. By the way, you did not hear it this morning on KVGB Sports because Aaron hates KU. The KU women lost last night in overtime to Baylor.
24 straight seasons for the Baylor Bears with at least 20 wins. Pretty impressive.
I like they come back with a nugget on that. It was pretty good stuff. Jayhawk Conference last night. Barton Cougars had the night off. There was action last night in the league. And on the women's side, Hutchinson remains undefeated. They are 26-0 on the year, ranked number 1 in the country, the Hutch women are. And they continued last night, winning 91-52 in Goodland against Northwest Tech. Let's see. Butler did win last night. They beat Colby 73-43 in El Dorado. So Butler and the Lady Cougars now tied for 3rd in the Jayhawk standings at 14-6. Dodge City got a win last night on the women's side. They beat Seward 74-63. Kind of a wacky result last night. Pratt women beating Cloud County 84-66. Didn't expect that, although Cloud has not been overwhelming this year.
10 days and counting on that Barton-Hutch game, March 2nd.
Okay, I'll let you talk to Alan today and see if you can get him to talk about that game at all.
I'm pumped.
I'm scared to ask about it. So stick around. I'll let you do it, and then you can exit the room after Alan gives you a scowl.
You face the cold gaze.
All right, Barton men have a game-and-a-half lead now over Cowley in the men's standings. Again, Barton 19-1, 25-1 overall, number 2 in the country. Again, getting last night off. Second place, Cowley did get a victory. They beat Independence 95-48. Tough year in Pirate Town. They're 0-19 now in conference play, 1-24 overall. Cowley 18-3. Again, a game and a half back, and Hutchinson winning last night. So they are 17-3. Hutchinson beating Northwest Tech in a close one in Goodland by the score of 89-84. Butler also, they're 4th in the league right now. They're going to finish there. They're now 16-4. They beat Colby 71-50. 51. So that was the night in junior college basketball. All right, college football playoffs set to expand to 12 teams this upcoming season. 4 conference champions, the highest ranked, and then
It's 5.
Under the 12-team playoff format that begins this fall, the 4 highest-ranked conference champions will be seeded 1 through 4, and each will receive a first-round bye, while teams seeded 5 through 12 will play each other in the first round on the home field of the higher-ranked team. So what are the 5 conferences then?
I think the 5 conferences are just, you kind of assume it's going to be the like the big 4 that are still around, the SEC, Big 12, Pac-10, and ACC. But the reason it's significant that it's that the new format is kind of a plus, like 5 conference champions plus 7 at-large bids. One of those conference champions has to play one of the at-large, but it gives the opportunity for a Tulane, who a couple of years ago had.
So but it would be the highest-ranked conference, right?
I think it's the highest ranked team. Like whichever conference champion, like
Well, I tried to figure that out because the 4 highest ranked conference champions, you're saying, okay, there's 5 conference champions. Who's the other league? Who the league's going to be, and how do we know which one they're going to be?
If the American Conference, if they have the highest ranked other team, or if the Sun Belt has the highest ranked other team,
got it.
They'll be that 5th team. But then if they also have a better record and they're higher ranked, like Tulane a few years ago got up to like 8th, I think, or something in the final polls, they could have actually had the 4 seed over an ACC champion who might be a 10th ranked team in the polls. So it actually gives some of those smaller, the American, your Sun Belt, your Conference USA, some of those teams potentially a path to a first round bye if they can get enough hype built up over the course of a season.
So is this going to open the door for other teams, or it's going to be, okay, the SEC conference champion and 4 others from the SEC? And then you get 3 from the Big Ten, right? Because the Big Ten now they're in the conversation about being one of the top teams. It's always Big Ten and SEC.
And that's what you have
2 teams last year. You had Ohio State and Michigan, and the rest of them were garbage.
And that's what you kind of have to worry about with the expanded playoff is there's a lot of potential to including a bunch of teams who haven't had an opportunity at the postseason, who haven't had a chance. But then you do kind of have to worry about how many SEC teams can get in, how many Big Ten teams can take up one of those at-large
So
spots.
we're going to have the college football selection committee still in place?
I think so, but it seems like there's also going to be some guidelines on actually getting it selected. It's not just going to be the group of men descends into a room and emerges with an unsaleable list. Like there's actually going to be some guidelines on how you get to that top-ranked seeds.
Yeah, Joe Lenardi at ESPN, his mouth is watering. I get 2 bracketology shows in 1 year? But the funny thing about your clip is he said, oh, if Notre Dame's number 1 and they have to go in as the 5 seed, not likely.
Well, not likely Notre Dame gets to the end of a season undefeated, but
Yeah, they're not in the conference, so
it might be time for them
get
to
in the league.
Might be time to pony up and hop in a conference. I'd be interested to see if Notre Dame.
What's that say down at
to-
the bottom? When was Notre Dame's last conference or national champion? What was that, 1988?
1988.
Okay, all right. They're still relevant, though.
I'd be interested to see if they do try to finagle some rights. Like we've seen them play with the ACC.
Well, they already
with,
have one because it's written in that Notre Dame is included in all preseason college football polls.
They have to be. Have to be
at least in top 10. Yeah,
At least, yeah, it's on top 10. A lot of times they'll get higher than that.
Paul Feinbaum says, yeah, there's some things that could, happen, but it was a good day, so we finally get it. The expanded college football playoffs. Now, I like the home field. I would like the home field involved even in the quarterfinals. Because right now, okay, quarterfinals, semifinals be played in the New Year's 6 bowl games. Pony up, fans.
That's what I was going to say. Did they mention do all the other bowl games? Do they keep the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl? Is it just going to be a number matchup now versus...
The 6 bowl New Year's 6 bowl games.
So probably the big ones will keep their name, but lose some of the conference rivalries.
CarQuest or what? Well, the CarQuest is now the Pop-Tarts.
They should try to get more with the Rose Bowl, man. That's my favorite bowl venue. I think part of it just because they always get kind of
but the Rose Bowl, we would have had a playoff 20 years ago had it not been for the stuffy noses of the Rose Bowl. I agree, it's a cool location.
That's fair, but we can't let them have
but
their
all of a
flowers
sudden,
now.
oh yeah, we don't even have a conference to play our bowl games with.
I still can't get over the Pac-12 getting dissolved.
So that's what it's going to be. So then and then you'll have your national championship game at a neutral site. So I guess if you'd get in the quarterfinal, semifinal, so if you're a fan of that team, you would have to travel to 3 different venues.
So, and you've seen what the NFL union has done with extra games. What is that? That's 3-4 rounds of playoffs now. So if you play the regular schedule and you're playing, that's an interesting. There's so much money on the table with the contracts on the TV side, but those kids are going to be playing.
Are you going to keep a 12-game schedule? Regular season.
How do you know
That
if you're going to
seems
make
like
the
that's a
playoffs? Yeah,
That
tough.
Division II, they play like 16 games. But those kids are tougher.
Built different.
All right. Matt Quattrero say the new look veteran presence in the Kansas City pitching rotation. Here's your pitchers for the Royals. At least they're getting roll out. Seth Lugo. He had a nice bounce back year last year, really did with the Padres. Cole Reagans, who came on late for the Royals, left-hander. Michael Wacha. Brady Singer. He's the kind of the last guy left, him and Daniel Lynch, of that promising pitching. And, of course, Brady Singer, you say, well, okay, we got Singer coming back. And, again, he's pitching this weekend. So we don't have this World Baseball Classic thing. But you think sometime during the year he would have been able to bounce back better than a 5.14 ERA. You know, you'd figure finally get in the groove, even though I don't think you can blame that whole season on the World Baseball Classic.
Well, it's kind of hard because I remember him kind of being on an upswing to end last year, but maybe that was just kind of like a bright spot among the 56-win season that was.
Well, yeah, he's still young. I mean, then you got Jordan Lyles, the guy that can go out there and throw it, but then Daniel Lynch, is he going to be able back? I mean, he's one of the ones that's left from that promising pitching. You know, they had Bubic in there, and Bubic is still coming back from an injury. Let's see. Who else, Hesh, that's now gone?
Was Hernandez in the bullpen still? He was coming on.
Jackson Kowar. And he's with a different team right now. So
there was a Jonathan Heasley. I think he's gone as well.
Yes, he got traded, I think, in the offseason.
I think that just goes to show you the Royals can't develop anybody.
Yeah, and when you look at the 2014-15 seasons, they brought in some older, non-power throwing arms, Jeremy Guthrie, Chris Young. It was a key to success, so I don't know how old these guys are, but sometimes you bring in that little bit of
like
leadership.
32. Reagans is in his late 20s. I mean, Walker's,
Walker's going to be
He's seen a few Kentucky derbies over the years. Jordan Lyles is probably 34. But it's better than rolling out those ones that they finally gave up on some of, which they needed to do. So Will Smith is in there for the close. John Schreiber, James MacArthur, Nick Anderson. You also have Chris Stratton, a veteran who they signed for the bullpen. Yeah, Carlos is in the bullpen, not listed as a closer, but
he's in the Omaha bullpen.
You know, he got good when they put the pitch clock in.
He was better,
but
yes.
He wasn't going to be a starter because Carlos kind of a big feller, and he
those
having
new
to throw a
uniforms
pitch every 20. Yeah,
cool them off.
How do the larger men feel about these new skin tight baseball uniforms?
Well, but some of those guys were pouring out sweat, so it'd be interesting to see if it keeps them cooler, if it wicks it away.
So that's what I was gonna say. Because sometimes your bigger fellows are the ones who are gonna be sweating a little more. Don't care what I look like, but you get sweating in some of that material and it starts clinging to your body. Yeesh! Better have an
see
undershirt.
your belly button.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Better have an undershirt. Cover up that belly button.
What would David Wells look like? If you threw him out there in one of these skin tight uniforms.
It would not be pretty.
He would look like a boa constrictor that just ate a deer. I mean, at least with a baggy uniform, you can kind of cover up the gut a little bit.
You can puff it out at the bottom where you tuck it in, give your belly
Well, let's
room.
be honest. Babe Ruth wouldn't have looked too good either.
I think that's called blousing.
Oh, is blousing? Okay, thank you. All right. Probably could have some time to talk about this, but the new Jordan rules. New Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce saying he's going to use his own version of the infamous Jordan rules. That means hard fouls. In the NFL, that means a 15-yard penalty. But that's what you want to do. You want to hit the quarterback, right? Harry Douglas thinks he'll have to try to do that. Hit Patrick Mahomes. I don't have any problem with it. Just do it legally. Because if you don't, you're going to get
That's the biggest. I get what Antonio Pierce is trying to say. You want to rattle Mahomes any way you can, and a great way to do that is just getting some of that incidental contact that adds up over the course of a game. But the NBA landscape of the late 80s was much more conducive to that. You could get physical with your defense. You could handshake. You could throw those elbows. Now, especially as it pertains to quarterbacks, they're so protected that getting those shots, getting those kind of little extra things he was talking about.
I mean, really. I mean, I always loved big defensive ends who would come up, and your back was to them, and you were totally unprotected. And they put their helmet right in the middle of your spine, and they get up. Yeah!
I've said it before. I wonder how much better Joe Montana could have been if he wasn't getting hospitalized every fourth hit. I swear, you go back and watch some of his highlight reels. He's throwing a deep bomb to Jerry Rice, and sure, it's caught, but he's getting smoked by, like, Leon Lett afterward, just getting crushed.
Wait a minute, so if you give your players money to do this, it's a bounty, you'll lose your job, all your credibility, but if you don't pay your players and just tell them to play dirty, oh, cool.
It's a Raiders mantra.
It did sound very Raiders-esque.
Throw the, pass downfield passing and the dirty play. But, it's a 15-yard penalty, but it's the end of the Chiefs if 15 goes down. And finally, the Larned Senior Girls with a happy birthday song yesterday. Almost brought me to tears.
I noticed that yesterday.
It was very touching.
You were impressed.
I was. What a fun group yesterday. That was really, really good. Okay, let's see. Coming up, we have wrestling. Nathan Brock. Oh, yeah, go ahead and give us the update here on the high school wrestling. We'll get Nathan in here.
Why
don't you do that when we come back in,
sure,
okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll bring in Nathan. You can give your update, and then he can give us some input.
Absolutely. There we go.
Tied in. Okay. Nathan Brockelman, C.J. Newman coming up next on Sports Day.
Join Barton Community College in the eccentric adventure Caractacus Pods for an unforgettable adventure filled with flying cars, family fun, and laughter. Barton Theater presents Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Experience the magic of this timeless musical brought to life on stage, with multiple showings starting February 29th and running through March 3rd. Bring the whole family and let your imagination soar. For more information, visit shows.bartonccc.edu.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Amy Herrera, Regional Retail Manager for your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many people navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you how we're committed to serving you in our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmy's, make it happen.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back. Sports Day brought to you in part today by Next Tech Wireless. Experience wireless built by Kansans for Kansas. The Cougar Booster Club continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country. And Equity Bank, your hometown sports partner. Visit one of their 5 local area banks in Great Bend, Larned, Maxville, and St. John. Just visit equitybank.com to find out more. Nathan Brockelman, C.J. Newman, Barton Wrestling in studio. What a great time for an Aaron Clark state wrestling update.
Got the
Don't get nervous now, okay?
I know, we've got some official wrestling guys in here now. I got to be on my A game.
Don't use spinning toe hold, okay? All right.
As been saying, the 5A state tournament is the one we're currently looking at. The boys have gotten underway. Girls will start this afternoon, and then the 3 through 1A tournament on the boys' side, or just in general, starts a little bit later this evening. Taking a look at the Great Bend boys, though, at the 5A tournament, 2 fellas advancing into the semifinals. That's Cooper Lyles and Jay Schartz at 150 pounds and 157 pounds. 6 other guys still have the wrestling season alive. Coach, been some pretty fun ones. Looking at the tournament for Cooper Lyle so far. Senior year, it's a guy you know pretty well, and he's been having some pretty nice wins so far today.
Yeah, you know, he picked up a nice revenge win in the quarterfinals over Dueling, over Bishop Carroll. I actually was watching the match. After the match, I saw that he picked up a pin, so I kind of went to go see how it happened, and just hit the right move at the right time and picked up the fall. And I know he's should heavily be favored in the semifinals first round tomorrow, and I'm sure he'll probably get the Goodwin kid from Goddard, but you never know. There's always upsets everywhere.
And then Jay Sharts, I believe he was the #1 ranked wrestler at the 157 pounds in 5A. He's also moving along in the semifinals tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll be in the semis too. I imagine he has the Smith kid from Hutch. I didn't actually look at the bottom side of his quarter or his half, but that would be my guess is who he's got a rematch of last week's semifinals. So
it's gonna be fun. More state wrestling reports will be heading your way all day on B1043 The Point and Hits 106.9.
You said there's some upsets already today at 5A, right?
Yeah, there was 175-pounder, a kid from Goddard, Zach Wesley's. He's stud. I mean, he was 14-0 coming in. I know he'd been a little bit banged up, but I haven't had a chance to go back and watch the match, but he did get pinned by a Hayes kid, so that was big for Hayes, and probably some team points lost for Goddard, which is kind of what Great Bend's going to need a little bit if they want to bring this thing home.
Okay, state wrestling going on, and of course you can follow it on Hits 106.9 and B1043 The Point with Aaron. Nathan, you came back today. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I did. I was up in Salina this morning, showing some love to those small schools. You know, I'm a small school guy originally, and love watching wrestling. And you know, I still bleed a little bit of black and red right now, and go cheer on all these seniors and kids down at 5A, 6A Friday, Saturday.
Okay, you still got a meet left. Tell me about the Nationals coming up.
Yeah, we'll be heading to Nationals. We're leaving Wednesday after class. Action starts on Friday. If you make it to Saturday, I believe you're an All-American. So that's right now probably the big goal is to get to Saturday.
Okay, tell me about C.J. Newman.
CJ's from Junction City. I've watched CJ for quite a few years when he was in high school. Started his career out at Labette. Took a year off, went into the workforce, and when I took the job here at Barton, I talked to his old coach, Coach Gonzalez, not old Gonzalez, not Gonzo Gonzalez, but his son Tyler Gonzalez, and reached out to see what kind of kids he had still available, and he mentioned that CJ was looking to get back on the mat, and started talking to him, and here he is, my first national qualifier, and I'm excited to see what he can do there.
CJ, welcome to the program. First of all, congratulations. How'd that make you feel when you secured that national bid?
Well, I felt really excited because this whole year it's been kind of tough because I've been hurt. I've only wrestled I think like 7 matches, and I knew when I won I was just super like excited no matter what, because I really didn't think I was gonna wrestle second semester because of my shoulder. So like all the stuff I was going through, and I'm just blessed that Brockman gave me another chance to wrestle. So
you came back, and when did you kind of know that I'd make this thing work with this shoulder?
Well, I started therapy and using the shoulder brace, and like when I started stretching it more and just doing a lot of other exercises, I started feeling a lot better. So it was just more of so it hurt sometimes, but at the end of the day, it might be my last year wrestling, so like I got to toughen up. So no matter what, I just keep moving on.
You love wrestling, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell. So you go to Labette, and then you don't wrestle for a year. How much did you miss it?
I didn't miss it a lot. I was there for the first semester, and just personal stuff I left. And then I realized when I started working at 3 to 5 year olds at a preschool.
Really?
And I really liked working there as a para. And then when I went to kind of help out at high school wrestling, that's when I was like, dang, I do really miss it a lot. And I was still in shape and stuff, and I was like, I don't know why I left, but I literally thought I was done. Like I didn't even think I was gonna do like my style is freestyle and Greco. That's what I like to do a lot better. And
he's a under 23 All-American 2 years ago in the Greco. So.
And I was I saw that Brockman was the new coach at Barton because I know the other coach. I think he left, and I saw that my old coach told me about him, but then my trainer that I was working with for a little bit in the summer, Corey Scott, I guess he knew Brockman, and then he was asking me for his phone number and stuff, and then I gave my phone number to him. So yeah.
Did you have to wrestle Nathan as a tryout?
No, I think it probably beat me, to be honest.
So you get back in. I mean, the excitement for this once you decide, okay, this is a go.
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
It felt really good. I was really excited just because Labette was like 3 hours and 45 minutes, and Barton from Junction City, Great Bend isn't really that bad, like an hour and 45, and a lot closer. And I knew a lot more kids from my hometown were going here, and knew some of the returners like Avery Wolf. I used to wrestle with him for like the Team Kansas, so I've known him for a while. So I thought it was pretty cool him being here.
Obviously, you love wrestling, CJ. Is this it, or do you want to keep wrestling, or do you not worried about it now? You just want to go to nationals?
Like I've already decided. Like I do probably am going to be done, but we'll see how I do. If I do really good, which I plan on doing, maybe I go somewhere else. It just depends.
Okay.
But it's like 50-50 right now.
Are the brackets out for nationals? How's that work, Nathan?
They just seeded him, I think, yesterday. I got an email like from the NJCAA that they plan on trying to release them tomorrow, but they didn't necessarily give a time. So hopefully they get those released. But I've been telling CJ he looks into the brackets a lot, so we're going to try not to look at him. At least he's not going to look at him because he wrestles a lot better and we don't know who he's wrestling. But hopefully that'll be the case. Hopefully I can keep him away from those brackets and just go do the best that he can.
What's the last week and a half been like for you, CJ?
It's been I've been going at it with our heavyweight. His name's Nathan, and he's probably the strongest kid I've ever wrestled. He's only 17, and I've been wrestling with a couple other people, but I've realized the weight class I'm at, these dudes are way bigger than me. Like they're like super strong, and like I'm like 4 pounds under. I'm so much under. Like I'm way lighter than them. So I was like, maybe I should start wrestling with somebody heavier. Then I feel a lot better. I think I'm in shape. I was not at shape at the beginning. I was like, it was pretty bad. I was gassed out after the first period. But I think I've gotten better in shape, and I've been doing I've been going on runs too. If it's been really nice outside. So even though I don't really need to lose weight just to get more conditioning in, but it's been pretty good. I haven't really like been. I've only been sore a couple of times because like last Friday I took a day off, but ever since then I haven't took a day off because there's no days off for me. I want to keep going. Because I know the other dudes that I'm gonna wrestle, they're not taking any days off. So.
No, that's pretty good. That's pretty good inspiration. Nathan, what's your hope for CJ at this tournament?
I mean, I just want CJ to stay relaxed and just do the best that he can. I mean, I know he's got plenty of talent when he wants it to be there, and I know that talent could carry him onto the podium. He just got to make sure he doesn't freeze up and just stays open and loose and wrestles the best of his ability. And if that's what happens, if that's the CJ that shows up on Friday, then I guarantee we'll be on the podium on Saturday.
Well, you were part of Coach Brockelman's first class here at. What are your hopes and what are your expectations as you watch this Barton program go into the future?
I really think like after this year, I feel like we're going to be really like a lot better. Like this year, our regional was very tough. Like we have a lot of freshmen, and they were, I think most of our kids were like one match away from going to nationals. They were just in a really tough position, and like there's a lot of returners next year. I know Brockelman's recruiting. I think we're going to be a lot better. Like we're going to surprise a lot of teams next year. I really think so.
CJ, you mentioned earlier you like working with little kids. Is that something you want to do in the future? Get an education or?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Like at the beginning when I did start working there, I was kind of nervous because I was like, I didn't know I knew how to work with kids, but like I was like, maybe what if I mess up? Because I was only male there. Then there was another male there too, so I was kind of nervous. I'm like, maybe they don't like they might take me as a joke. But then I started realizing that they don't. They're like, and then so there were some days I was down because I was like, dang, I do miss wrestling. But then I met a lot of new like friends working there, and I wouldn't mind working maybe with like elementary. Was working in the summer school with special needs kids in this elementary, and I was nervous too there. But then I realized I'd rather work in elementary than 3 to 4 year olds. And then I wouldn't mind being a para for special needs kids.
Well, let me just tell you that you will be in demand as a male in this, and you know. Yeah, you don't need to be nervous. All you got to do is have a passion. You can tell you have that, for being around kids. CJ, thanks for coming in today.
No problem.
Good luck at Nationals.
Thanks.
And hope your shoulder feels good. Okay?
Oh, I'm good. On my shoulders, it's fine. I didn't even wear the shoulder brace in practice. I might get a new one before because it keeps falling off during a match. But I might not even need to use it, so we'll see. But
Nathan, thanks for bringing this young man in. Really cool. Appreciate it. And have fun up there at Nationals, and maybe CJ will do something really, really cool.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Okay, that is Nathan Brockelman, CJ Newman, in advance of the NJCAA National Wrestling Tournament on on Sports Day. More Barton Talk. Alan Clark joining us next.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Ryan, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Want to graduate a little sooner? Take online courses with Barton Online and transfer seamlessly to your university of choice without all the hassle. We have 6-week and 8-week sessions starting in February and March. Save tons of time and money and get ahead by taking courses at Barton and transferring your credits. Now enrolling for both sessions. Get started at online.bartoncccc.edu.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on KVGB. Barton women's basketball coach Alan Clark joining us on the show. Our program also brought to you in part by Eller Automotive Repair, local mechanic that can help you on Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source. Also by Venture Corporation, reminding you to help a neighbor shop local when you can. Well, Alan, you came in and, of course, saw C.J. Newman, Nathan in here. How do you keep track of all those different athletes that you pass every day out there at Barton?
It's hard. It's hard. You get to know as many of them as you can, but, yeah, especially, with the wrestlers, they're down in a different part of the campus.
Uh-huh.
And there's a lot of them between all the sports.
You got a week off this week, and, of course, you still have today, tomorrow, and then, of course, Saturday you get back going again. Is that sometimes a break's good, sometimes it's not. I mean, how did you approach this week?
This one came at a good time for us. We went to Coffeyville, did not play well. We were needing a break. We'd played during our bye the first round when we played North Dakota, and so we've played every Wednesday, Saturday since Christmas break, and so this came at a good time.
Do you ever get tempted to say, man, I got a week there, it's at the end of the year, I want to keep, maybe try to find somebody to sneak a game in there at this point in the season?
Yeah, not at this point.
Okay.
I think it's better to have that little bit of time off. We practiced hard, because with your schedule on Wednesdays and Saturdays, you got 2 days in between on Thursday and Friday, you're game planning for the next game, and so there's very little practice time. So we were actually able to get a couple of practices in, some good hard practices, like preseason type practices. So.
Okay. Well, it was good for a little bit at Coffeyville. You had a 32-31 lead, I believe, early in the second half, and then that building always seemed cold to me anyway.
Yeah,
but, they kind of went. That's how your team went in the second half.
Yeah, we didn't shoot it well at all. I mean, our percentages, we were 4 for 27, I think, from 3, and it's hard to win. We turned it over 11 times in the second half. When you're not shooting well and you're turning it over, that's not a good recipe for winning games.
Are you comfortable with a certain number of threes, or does it just depend on how teams are playing you?
Well, they doubled Vera, they doubled Vivian, and so we knew we were going to have to make some perimeter shots, and we just weren't able to.
They kind of came up with a kind of a double team last year, and you took on now you got
Yeah.
two, and they still were able to
Yeah.
kind of put pressure down.
Yeah,
there.
Jenny, they doubled Jenny last year, and Vera and Vivian, both have had really good seasons so far, and it some teams can guard one of them, but very few teams can guard them both, and so yeah, and they were really effective with it. They were very aggressive. Our kids, our Vera and Vivian got to be stronger. They got to be bigger. They got to be broader. Trying to keep that double team from closing in on them quite so hard. And we've worked on that again in practice this week. And so hopefully if somebody tries to do it to us again, that we'll be more ready for it. But we had open shots. Tatum had open looks. Casey had open looks. We just didn't make them.
Okay, didn't play last night. The rest of the conference did. Butler gets a win last night. They took care of Colby as expected. So down the stretch we come. You're going to tie with Butler right now with 1, 2, 3 games to go.
Actually, we got 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah, we have.
One,
Let's see,
two,
we have.
three. Oh yeah, you got that Monday game. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, then they actually moved that back to Tuesday. Our game at Colby was a Monday, and they moved it back to Tuesday.
Okay, so that's going to be a Tuesday now. So
right.
we've got Garden, Dodge, Hutch, and then
Colby to finish.
Colby. Okay.
The main thing for us right now, I don't know, we need to finish top 4 and get that bye first round, home court second round, and right now we've got a 2-game lead on Coffeyville. They went to Garden City and lost last night, so that helped us as far as give us a little more breathing room. But we control our own destiny as far as finishing the top 4. If we can take care of our business, we'll be top 4. And I don't know that it matters after that. With Hutch being undefeated, we're not going to win the conference. It's possible that we could, move up into second if we could get Dodge and Hutch and Garden and Colby, if we could win all 4. But right now, the focus is just getting that home court.
I don't think you should have any problem getting your kids' attention with Garden City. They become a weird team this year. They get some puzzling losses, and then they get a win, and then they took care of Coffeyville 65-57 last night.
Yeah, and they're playing well right now. We talked. I think the last time I was in before we played Seward that they were playing well at the time, and now Garden City's coming in. They're 5-1 their last 6 games. But some of it's the scheduling, some of it's the schedules. But they're a scary team. They only have like 7 or 8 players, but they're good players. The players they have are good, and the Dreesen girl is very, very good defensively. We got to make sure that we're taking care of the ball. They turn people over, so we got to take care of the ball, and hopefully we'll shoot it better than we did last week. But they don't have a lot of size. They have one girl that can guard Vera probably, but I think we pretty well controlled the boards last time against them, and hopefully we can do that again.
Yeah, picked up a 10-point win against them. I believe it was early January out at Garden City. Yeah, what a way to end the regular season. You get Garden, who's won 5 of 6, as you said, and then you get Dodge, and then you get Hutch, and then a road game at Colby.
Right.
So
exactly.
Challenging.
Yeah, it's good that we're getting that kind of a schedule here, getting ready for the playoffs. I look forward to it, and hopefully, I think we can beat anybody in the conference, but at the same time, anybody could beat us if we don't play well.
Okay. Mike Corson wanted me to ask you about Hutch. I told him I wasn't going to ask you.
What about Hutch?
Well, he just wanted to know about the Hutch matchup, and I said, well, I don't think Coach is going to talk
we'll
about
talk
that.
next week. Yeah. I mean, obviously they're good. I mean, they're good. I'm happy for John, and I'm happy for the Jayhawk Conference that we've got 3 teams in the top 25, and if we could have won a game here or there, that maybe we could have been in that top 25 as well. But it is what it is, and we've got plenty of games left, and we've got to be starting to play our best basketball right now.
You think the Jayhawk could get 3 teams this year?
I do. It would help if somebody besides Hutch would win it, because Hutch, they're locked in. They're gonna, whether they win it or not, they're gonna get a bid. I would think Dodge City would get a bid, and so if us or Butler could win it, then I think we'd definitely get 3 teams in. But when you take the large bids from Florida, when you take the at-large from Texas, that doesn't leave very many. When there's only
No.
8, there's 2 regions in Florida, or 1 region in Florida, 2 in Texas, and they're going to get 5 of the 8 at least. And so that only leaves 3 for the rest of us. And so, Missouri's probably going to get 1. They've got 3 Rivers and Mineral Area this year in the top 25. So, it'd be nice if we could, but for us, we got to win it. We're at the point now, haven't been in the rankings for a long time, that we have to go win the region for us to go.
Tell me about the selection process. Was at large? I don't know. Probably it'd be interesting to be in. How much reputation does one region get? I mean, does that carry some weight on the number of selections they get? And then how long do you get that pedigree?
Yeah.
How long does that stay in place?
Well, it all I think depends on how you do in the national tournaments in previous years. I remember several years ago, I don't remember what year it was, but we had Coffeyville, Seward, and Hutch all in the national tournament, and all 3 of them made the Elite 8. And I think it was at Salina that year. I think Hutchinson made the finals that year. So the fact that back then we were getting 3 teams regularly. Then we had a couple years that we didn't play well in the national tournament. The representatives didn't play well, and so I think our reputation kind of took a hit.
Yeah.
Us losing in the first round last year, even though it was a double overtime game, did not help our region. Dodge City did not play well in the national tournament. That didn't help our region this year. But they've you also got to realize that it's whole new kids each year.
Yeah.
And Hutch obviously is having a great year. Dodge City's reloaded and got a lot of international kids back that are not back, but new international kids that came in and are playing well. And so hopefully whoever goes to the national tournament this year from Region 6 can go and have a good tournament.
Alan Clark with us here. I asked Jeremy Combs this because it was always when I was doing play-by-play and I was doing football, I always was very cognizant of timeouts. When I did play-by-play for basketball, it didn't seem, I may have undervalued them as a play-by-play guy. How do you approach timeouts and the value of them, and how do you try to use them, as a head coach?
Well, with media timeouts now, we get after under 5, we get a timeout every quarter, and then you've got the quarter break, obviously, and I think the men get 5 timeouts. We only get 4.
Okay.
And they have, but one of theirs is a use it or lose it, I think. But anyway, I like to save our timeouts as much as possible, because at the end of a game in women's basketball, you can advance the ball, and it's huge to be able to advance the ball. When we played Hutchinson in the semifinals 5 years ago or so in Dodge City, we hit a shot with like 3 seconds to go.
In the old days, they'd had to bring the ball. Yep.
And they didn't have a timeout left. John had used all of his timeouts, so he had to go the length of the court in three seconds. Whereas if he had a timeout left at that point, he could advance the ball and got a lot better shot. So I'm always cognizant of trying to have a timeout or 2 left in that last minute, so we if we need to advance the ball. I'm not a big fan of calling timeouts. I tell our kids all the time, what do we do when we call a timeout? We get in a huddle on the sideline and we talk about stuff. Well, they don't need to get in a huddle on the sideline. During a free throw, they can, or a dead ball, they can huddle on the court real quick. They don't have to have a timeout to get a huddle. And honestly, we haven't done a very good job of that. Our guards, our leaders have got to do a better job of getting huddles when things aren't going very good. I don't know how much you've watched this as far as our free throws. When we shoot a free throw, we don't put anybody on the line. And so that allows 4 kids to be back in midcourt or wherever, and they can huddle. They can talk about defense. They can talk about what they want to do offensively. So it's an automatic huddle every time we shoot a free throw.
Okay. How much water do you take on board before you call that timeout? Like somebody's on a big run against you.
Well, and that's something that you have to gauge as a coach.
Yeah.
We were watching Garden City and Coffeyville last night, and I think it was in the first quarter, first or second quarter, first half I know, with 5 minutes and 17 seconds left in the quarter, Coach Franklin took a timeout. Well, you're 17 seconds away from a timeout. So, even if the other team has made a little bit of a run, do you want to waste a timeout? And I say waste. Do you want to use a timeout when you're going to get one in 17 seconds? It's just a judgment call.
Yeah. Okay. It's like pick the coach's brains and stuff.
Yeah, I'm probably one that should probably take more timeouts when teams are making runs than I do. The other night, a couple games ago, when Seward was making a run on us in the fourth quarter, we're up. I think we were up 20, and I think they cut it down to. I think they got it down to 10 before I took a timeout, and I guess I just like to save my timeouts.
Well, sometimes if players like that when their coach doesn't get a chance to chew on them in a huddle.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember. I'm a Bill Self fan big time. And I don't remember if it was Bill Self that talked about it or another coach that talked about at times he wants his players to play through it. Just get them to learn, hey, play through it. We're not going to take a timeout to bail you out all the time when we're not playing well. And, just, figure out how to play through it. A lot of it sometimes is when, especially on the offensive end, when you haven't scored for a while, is just getting a better shot. Get the thing to the basket, get to the free throw line. If it's the defensive end of it that you're struggling with, the players can figure that out. They can communicate on the court and figure that out. And so I guess that's kind of been my philosophy then too, is at times just let them play, let them work through it.
Alan, appreciate the time.
I appreciate
Okay,
you
good
for
luck
having
this
me, Steve.
weekend.
Thank
Okay, Sports Day continues right after this.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Smart stays on the road. That's why it's in your engine. Cenex Maxtron synthetic diesel engine oils give you the smartest oil for the toughest conditions. These premium oils maintain 80% of their viscosity throughout the drain interval for superior engine performance across extreme temperatures. That horizon looks good with the competition behind you. Cenex Maxtron diesel engine oils. Oil that runs smart.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Zach Strite, commercial lender for Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Are you unhappy with your current wireless provider? Well, what are you waiting for? Make the switch to Nextech Wireless. Not only will you get great service and the latest devices, but when you bring your number to us, you pay nothing down. That's right. The taxes and activation fee are on us. Certain restrictions apply. Nextech Wireless. Home on the range.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
We had a lady that was having some severe back and hip pain, and we worked with her for about 6 to 7 weeks, and we were able to actually restore greater than 80% of her mobility, and we were able to keep her from actually needing that surgery for about 4 years.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Gerard Walbrock joining us, voice of Fort Hays State Tigers. Gerard, I blabbed too long again, so you know how that goes. You can't imagine me doing that, I know, but
that's all right.
Okay, starting, let's see, tonight, Pittsburgh State, Missouri Southern coming in on Saturday. Okay, let's talk about the men first. They're in pretty good shape right now, but how big a weekend is this for the Tigers?
Very big weekend. If they can win both of these, they're in a really good spot for an at-large NCAA, but won't be easy. Pitt State's really good. They had a couple guys ineligible for semester, and they've gotten them back, and then they had some sickness, which kind of changed their lineup, and I think they figured out their better lineup, and they're talented. So this will be a big test for the Tigers. And the Missouri Southern's playing really well right now. They've had kind of the same thing. They've kind of figured things out here late. So record certainly misleading, although Pitt's in third place in the conference. But, yeah, these will be two tough games. Pitt's not a good matchup for Fort Hays. They really took it to them when they played in Pittsburgh earlier this year. So Tigers will have to play well if they expect to come out of here with 2 wins, which that's the case every time. But it's going to be tough. These are 2 good teams.
20-5 overall. And, of course, we got the initial 10 in alphabetical order. So we don't have time for you to jump into that today, even though Hesher enjoyed that last week when he got in.
Yeah.
But 20-5. So they're right there.
You know, they felt going into last weekend, 4-1, they're a lock. 3-2, it gets iffy. Obviously, if you win all 5 remaining. Well, they got the first 2. So if they can get these 2, I think they feel they're in a good spot. You know, then the conference tournament should not matter. Or an upset somewhere else, they're going to have solid enough. But Division II, they're 20-5, and they're still feeling like we got a lot more work to do if we want to get in. It's crazy how hard it is, and this region's just crazy this year. So, yeah, just got to keep winning. If they keep winning, they win out, there's going to be no problem.
Yeah, that's just win out.
I told Mark Johnson, as I said last time at our coaches show, we'll just win them all. It won't be an issue.
Did you throw in the caveat that said, and that shouldn't be any problem? Yeah,
it was implied.
Oh, okay, all right. So, women 19-6. Where are they standing right now?
You know, they're in the consideration as well. They're a little bit lower when you look at their RPI and their competition index. But the 3 they have left, Pitt, Southern, and Kearney, are also under consideration. So it's it's the same boat we talked last weekend, same position they were in last year. If they can win these final 3, and it won't be easy because they're all good teams, but if they can, I think they're going to be in a really good spot. If they don't, they're going to have to win the conference tournament. It's as simple as that. Pitt's in consideration. Southern had won 15 in a row, and now they've dropped 2 straight. They were in first place. They've dropped to second in the conference. And, Fort Hays played maybe their best game of the year at Pitt when they met the first time. And then I was coming off just a terrible second quarter in which they gave up a 22-0 run and got beat by Southern. So, obviously the rest of their schedule's tough, but great opportunity. And Fort Hays State plays well. They're certainly capable of beating all of those teams. If they don't, they won't. That's how close it is for all these teams. It's crazy the women's side. There's 6 teams that still are within 3 games and have a chance to move up or drop a lot in the standings.
All right, Gur. Real quick, Gross Coliseum, they're celebrating 50 years Saturday.
Yeah, they got a lot of players coming back, both men and women. And then, they're going to have a little ceremony on the women's game at halftime about the construction of it and honor those who kind of were a part of the building of it. It's hard to believe. It's such a beautiful venue. You'd never guess it's 50 years old, and it should be a lot of fun.
Well, I crawled up through the hatch up there to put that antenna on for the Marty one time.
We're probably one of the few who can say we've been on the roof of that thing.
Legendary construction engineer, Steve Webster, Gerard Welbrock. All right. Hey, Gur, appreciate it. And we'll talk to you next Wednesday as the regular season will have one more game left. So have good calls and go Tigers.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, Gerard Welbrock joining us here on Sports Day. Tomorrow we'll have Connor Nickel on Sunflower Sports Solutions, preview that big Great Bend Hayes High game, and also Jeremy Combs. Talk to you tomorrow on Sports Day.